Hello, my name is Macklin Blake, and I'm presenting on mental health in the field of engineering. The issue that I'm discussing is the high rates of depression among engineering students. Below, I have presented a graph that I've made showing the different rates of depression among regular college students and engineering college students. Approximately 27% of regular college students, not ones solely enrolled in engineering, are faced with depression. However, 59% of engineering students face depression. The college student percentage came from Stroud et al. 1, and the engineering students percentage came from Gadam et al. 1, and the graph was made by me. But this shows the greater amount of engineering students that are faced with depression, which is a large issue in this field. The main causes for this large difference is the intense workload for the students. The classes, homework, studying, and assignments are all large stressors for the students and cause increased amounts of stress. This is from Jensen et al. 1, where they found the largest stressors for these students. Additionally, the culture of engineering promotes poor mental health and physical health for the engineers. This is from Mirabelli et al. 2, where they were discussing the largest stressors for students as well. There's also a lack of resources for the students. Many colleges provide counseling services and other things similar, but students simply do not know how to access these resources, how to make use of them, or simply just don't know about them. There's also issues like being located too far away. Additionally, the students also think that this is just an additional stressor and often feel an increase of stress whenever they attempt this. The main effects of this issue is an increase in mental health issues for the students. Approximately 78% of engineering students are faced with anxiety. Approximately 29% of engineering students are faced with stress, and 59% are faced with depression. I made a graph using these percentages from Gadam et al. 1, showing the different ranges of mental health issues that engineering students face. Additionally, other effects within this field include the worsening of the engineering culture. The engineering culture is already bad, but it will continue to get worse if these issues are not taken care of. Below, I have two quotes. The first one says, "Many students perceived high stress and poor mental health to be a normal and expected in the field of engineering." This is from Jensen et al., page 1. Additionally, engineering culture promotes high stress, exclusion, intense workloads, and disregard for mental and physical health. That is from Mirabelli et al., page 2. This can cause increased stress, depression, and other things because the students feel isolated and excluded. They feel like it is normal to feel these ways, which it is not. It can also lead to a poor perception of engineering for future students and the general public. This can lead to less interest in the field, leaving jobs potentially unfilled, other things like that, less students pursuing it. My proposal to deal with this issue is increasing the amount of time for a student to earn their engineering degree. Even by adding just a few years to the program could result in many benefits to the mental health, physical health of the students, and for the field of engineering as a whole. The resources that would be needed for this change would be approval from colleges and other officials. They would need to approve this change before it is implemented, but once this approval is gained, we would be able to move into implementing it on a large scale. There would also be financial aid needed for students. This would be for the students directly affected by this change, for students who are not prepared for the additional years academically. There would also need to be time for this change to be implemented, so that way it would be the most effective. The outcome of this proposal would hopefully be the reduction of poor mental health for engineering students. By reducing the workload and reducing the amount of classes per semester, it would reduce their workload, which is cited as the largest stressor for these students through Jensen et al. Page 1. There would also be improvements to the culture of engineering, which is currently damaging to the mental and physical health of these students. This is from Mirabelli et al. 2. If the culture and mental health improved, there would also be an increase in the perception of engineering. People could begin to think more positively of it due to the associations with it. That could also help to increase interest within this field. There are some potential issues with this solution. There could be problems for employers and graduated students looking for jobs. Employers could be unaware of this change, which could cause them to be uncertain of hiring future students. There could also be financial obstacles for unprepared students getting forced into the change. However, there are some ways we could address these. Colleges and students could make this information available to future employers about the change. Colleges could inform major employers about the change. The students could also include this information on resumes or make the information known to the employers in some way. Although it's unfavorable to have the students being the ones to inform the employers, it might be a reality. The financial aid could also be provided for students directly affected by the change. This would only be needed for the first few years of the implementation for this change. But after it has begun to settle, it would no longer be needed. Now, the works cited for this slideshow is Gadam et al., which I used for the stress, anxiety, and depression. Jensen and Cross, which was for the stress culture. Jensen et al., which is for the stressors. Mirabelli, which is for the stressors and culture. And Stroud, which is for the normal rates of depression among college students. Thank you.